On July 4, 2025, the Texas Hill Country awoke not to celebration, but to catastrophe. A rain bomb unleashed over 15 inches of water in hours, transforming peaceful rivers into deadly torrents. The flood swept through multiple counties, claiming 51 lives, mothers, fathers, children, leaving entire communities shattered. Kerr County was hit hardest, with 43 confirmed dead, including 15 children. Most people were still asleep as the water surged, giving them almost no time to react. The Guadalupe River and its tributaries rose with historic speed, overwhelming homes and infrastructure. Amid the devastation, first responders and neighbors risked everything to save others, launching dramatic rescues. Now, the focus is on finding the missing and supporting thousands left homeless, as the region begins a long, painful recovery. The Guadalupe River, usually a source of joy, a place of recreation, and a lifeblood for the communities along its banks, became a raging torrent, a force of destruction unlike anything seen in generations. The transformation was swift and brutal. In less than 2 hours, the situation escalated rapidly. Water levels surged over 20 feet, an almost unbelievable rise that defied expectations and historical data. 29 feet near Hunt, a record-shattering level that underscored the sheer power and unpredictability of the flood. The suddenness of the surge caught entire towns off guard, leaving residents with little to no time to prepare or evacuate. Kerrville, a vibrant community nestled along the river, Hunt, a picturesque town known for its natural beauty, and Mason, once tranquil and serene, with its historic charm, were transformed into disaster zones, unrecognizable under the deluge of water and debris. The Guadalupe River, swollen beyond its capacity, burst its banks, unleashing its fury upon the surrounding landscape. Homes, once safe havens, businesses, the lifeblood of the local economy, and campgrounds, popular destinations for outdoor enthusiasts, vanished beneath the floodwaters, swallowed whole by the relentless surge. Debris fields, a chaotic mix of personal belongings and natural wreckage, marked the river's violent path, a stark reminder of the destruction left behind. Survivors recall a deafening roar, an ominous sound that preceded the devastation, like a freight train barreling through their lives, as water crashed through their homes and businesses, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. Many awoke to find water already inside their homes, rising rapidly and threatening their lives, forced to make split-second decisions to survive, grabbing loved ones and seeking higher ground amidst the chaos. The river's fury left deep scars not only on the land, reshaping the landscape in its wake, but also in the memories of all who witnessed it, a traumatic experience that would forever bind them together. The Guadalupe, once a symbol of peace and tranquility, brought unimaginable devastation to the heart of the hill country, forever changing the lives of those who called it home. Campmystic, nestled in the serene landscape of Hunt, Texas, a cherished summer camp, a haven for girls seeking adventure and camaraderie, became the unexpected epicenter of a devastating tragedy. It was a place where memories were made, friendships blossomed, and laughter echoed through the trees, a stark contrast to the sorrow that would soon engulf it. 750 girls were joyfully immersed in the summer camp experience, participating in activities, sharing stories around campfires, and creating bonds that would last a lifetime. Little did they know, their idyllic summer was about to be shattered. Without warning, the floodwaters, unleashed by torrential rains, descended upon the camp with terrifying speed and force, turning a place of joy, laughter, and carefree summer days into a scene of utter chaos and devastation. The serene landscape was transformed into a raging torrent. The swollen river, once a gentle companion to the camp, surged over its banks and inundated the cabins, leaving a grim reminder of its destructive power in the form of 6-foot mudlines that marked the height of the floodwaters. The relentless waters swept through the camp, tearing apart buildings and scattering personal belongings, leaving a trail of destruction and heartbreak in their wake. Amid the widespread devastation and debris, a desperate and frantic search began for missing campers, with rescue teams battling against the elements to locate those who were unaccounted for. While the majority of the campers were successfully rescued from the floodwaters, a harrowing 27 girls remained unaccounted for, their whereabouts unknown, casting a long shadow of anxiety and fear over the entire community. The search efforts intensified, continuing relentlessly around the clock, with rescue teams determined to find the missing girls and bring them home. The nation watches with bated breath and offers prayers of hope and strength as families endure the unimaginable agony of waiting for news, clinging to hope amidst the despair, their hearts heavy with worry and uncertainty. The heartbreaking story of Camp Mystic has resonated deeply across the country, touching hearts and prompting an outpouring of support and sympathy. It is a parent's worst nightmare realized, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the preciousness of every moment. The camp community, though deeply shattered by the tragedy, has shown incredible resilience and has rallied together in a display of unwavering support, offering comfort, assistance, and strength to one another as they navigate through this devastating crisis. The primary focus remains steadfastly on hope and an unwavering determination to find the missing girls and bring them back to their families. The story of Camp Mystic is now etched as a painful and unforgettable chapter in the history of the Texas floods, a somber reminder of the innocence that was lost and the enduring power of hope in the face of unimaginable adversity. In the face of disaster, an extraordinary rescue operation unfolded. Helicopters became lifelines, rescuing hundreds stranded on rooftops and in trees. Boat crews braved debris-choked waters, risking their lives to reach the trapped. Over 850 people were saved in a massive, coordinated effort. Specialized teams using sonar and search dogs scoured debris fields for the missing, especially the girls from Camp Mystic. Neighbors became heroes, pulling each other from the water with whatever means they had. First responders worked tirelessly, driven by hope and duty. These acts of bravery, large and small, are a testament to the human spirit. Amid destruction, the flood revealed the courage and compassion of a community united in crisis. The flood struck with terrifying speed, a sudden and violent onslaught that few anticipated. It was a deluge unlike anything seen in recent history, a stark reminder of nature's raw and untamed power. And almost no warning. The systems designed to protect and inform the public simply weren't enough. The subtle signs were missed, the data misinterpreted, leading to a catastrophic failure in communication. Residents went to bed under a routine flood watch, lulled into a false sense of security by the familiar alerts. They trusted in the systems, unaware that this time, the threat was far greater than anything they had experienced before, unaware of the historic deluge about to unfold. The rain intensified, the rivers swelled, and the ground became saturated, setting the stage for a disaster of unprecedented scale. The warning system failed to convey the true danger, its message diluted by years of routine alerts that rarely materialized into anything significant. The urgency was lost, the gravity of the situation downplayed, leaving people vulnerable and unprepared. Families were caught off guard, their homes transformed into raging rivers in a matter of minutes. The speed of the rising water was shocking. By the time many realized the threat, the water was already lapping at their doorsteps, a silent and insidious invasion that quickly escalated into a life-threatening crisis. Escape routes were already underwater. Roads became rivers, highways turned into canals, trapping residents in their homes and cutting off access to higher ground. Homes were swept away in minutes. Foundations crumbled, walls collapsed, and entire structures were carried off by the relentless current. The force of the water was simply overwhelming. Families had no time to gather belongings or even essentials. They fled with only the clothes on their backs, leaving behind a lifetime of memories and possessions to the mercy of the flood. Survivors described the terror of waking to the sound of rushing water, to water pouring into their homes. The realization that their lives were in imminent danger, the desperate scramble to escape, the sheer panic of the moment. The disaster exposed a dangerous gap between our preparedness and the increasing intensity of extreme weather events, between weather forecasts and effective emergency alerts. The need for more accurate predictions, more timely warnings, and more robust communication systems became painfully clear. Floodwaters destroyed bridges and roads, severing vital transportation links and crippling the region's infrastructure, isolating communities and crippling rescue efforts. The damage made it difficult for first responders to reach those in need, further compounding the crisis. Communication lines were cut, plunging the affected areas into darkness and silencing the flow of information, making coordination nearly impossible in the crucial first hours. The lack of communication hampered rescue operations and delayed the delivery of essential aid. The event is a stark reminder that even with modern technology, we are still vulnerable to the forces of nature. Nature's power can still catch us unprepared. It serves as a call to action, urging us to invest in better preparedness, more resilient infrastructure, and a greater understanding of the risks we face. As the scale of the flooding became clear, state and federal officials mobilized rapidly. Governor Abbott declared emergencies across multiple counties and requested federal aid. President Trump pledged full federal support, enabling FEMA to assist with relief and rebuilding. Emergency shelters opened for thousands displaced, providing food, water, and medical care. The Texas National Guard joined local agencies in search, rescue, and relief operations. Coordination at all levels is critical for both immediate response and long-term recovery. The financial and emotional toll is immense, and mental health support is essential for survivors. The government's swift action is just the beginning of a long road to healing and rebuilding. The Texas Hill Country's beauty hides a deadly secret. It's one of America's most flood-prone regions. Steep hills and thin, rocky soil funnel rainwater rapidly into rivers, causing flash floods with little warning. The ground, mostly limestone, absorbs almost nothing. Water runs off as if on concrete. When heavy rain falls, it's quickly channeled into swollen rivers, creating disaster. The region's proximity to the Gulf of Mexico brings warm, moist air, fueling intense storms. This rain bomb was the perfect storm geography, geology, and weather combined for catastrophe. Living in Flash Flood Alley demands constant vigilance and robust warning systems. The tragedy underscores the urgent need for better planning and infrastructure. Understanding these risks is key to protecting lives in this beautiful but volatile region. Scientists point to a troubling trend. Climate change is making extreme weather more common. A warmer atmosphere holds more moisture, fueling intense storms and heavier rainfall. The Texas flood followed years of drought, leaving hard ground that couldn't absorb the deluge. This weather whiplash, drought followed by downpour, magnifies flood risk. Climate change doesn't cause a single storm, but it makes events like this more likely and severe. The old 1 in 100 years flood may now happen far more often. Communities must adapt, rethinking how and where we build and how we prepare. Acknowledging climate's role isn't political. It's essential for future safety. The new normal demands smarter planning for an unpredictable world. As the waters recede, two needs are clear: better warning systems and long-term support for survivors. The lack of timely, specific alerts cost precious lives. Future systems must be faster and more localized. River gauges, sirens, and instant mobile alerts could make all the difference in Flash Flood Alley. Beyond technology, the human cost is immense. Families grieve, survivors face trauma, and children's lives are forever changed. The community must rally, offering resources, counseling, and compassion for the long recovery ahead. The disaster revealed both nature's fury and the strength of the human spirit. Now that spirit must drive the rebuilding of homes, lives, and hope. Texas stands together, determined to heal and prepare for whatever comes next.